movie starts off with our main character named John. He's on his way to see his estranged wife at her office at the Tunie Corporation. He gets to the office and they're having a big party. So he's walking in and he's feeling real self-conscious. So he's all like, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious style. He sees people hustling, bustling, people looking at these robot boxes on their desk. And there's an alarming amount of hair. I mean, what with these hairstyles? Did people just use hairspray and a blow dryer and whatever happens, happens? Was that a thing? So this one guy with a lot of hair is sniffing Parmesan cheese off a desk. And things are starting to get a little wild. And a big truck pulls up and it's full of bad guys. Also with a lot of hair. I'm pretty sure one of those bad guys was Huey Lewis. So the bad guys come into the building and they start locking it down and invading the offices. Then the main bad guy, he's pretty dapper. He steps out into the office and he starts talking and it becomes pretty clear pretty quickly. This is personal. And he takes out the main Sakatumi guy. So John is taking off his shoes and he hears the gunshots and he's like, uh-oh. So he starts running around barefoot trying to figure out what's happening. Meanwhile, the bad guys are shooting all the robot boxes trying to figure out the code. John gets the bad guy and his machine gun, and then it's game on. Then there's a whole bunch of action going on, and Barefoot John's running around all the innards of the office building, through elevator shafts, ductwork. Finally, he gets a walkie-talkie, and he calls the police, and he's like, hey, I got me a serious situation up here at the Sakatumi Corporation building. Why don't you send me some help? And they're like, John, are you joshing us? And he said, look, I'm not ordering a pizza. Ooh, pizza. So the cops are all like, yeah, sure, there's a bunch of terrorists at the Sakatumi Corporation office building. Then, blam! Gunshots. The police operator is like, wait, that hurt my ears. Was that gunfire? Well, she decides to send one off-duty, happy-go-lucky cop on his way home to his wife with donuts to the scene. I do not believe that was a correct response to that situation. But the off-duty cop is Urkel's friend Carl, so it's okay. So Carl starts to leave, and John is like, what the what? We gotta get the bad guys. They're trying to get the code. So he throws a bad guy from the window and hits Carl's car with pinpoint accuracy. Welcome to the party, pal. So Carl, wait, is his name Carl or are we just calling him Carl? Meanwhile, John finds a bag with some thingies in it and a block of cheese called C4, and he tells the bad guy, yippee-ki-yay, chicken plucker. Then the media got involved. The deputy police guy starts arguing with Carl, who is really Al, about John, who is calling himself Roy, and there seems to be some confusion about who's doing what, to whom, and why. So the police storm the office, and Carl, who is now Al, starts yelling, and John, who is pretending to be Roy, starts yelling, and everything starts blowing up. The SWAT team sends in this smushed car with a rocket launcher, and the bad guys blow it up immediately with their rocket launchers, and everyone is like, whoa. This is serious. John throws a block of cheese down the elevator shaft and it goes boom! And the bad guys are like, was that our cheese? Who is this guy? How can we neutralize him? Enter the cheese sniffer. That's right. I knew I didn't like him. He tells them who John is. We also find out that the dapper bad guy is Hans Goober. And he tells the police he wants a bunch of people and some escape helicopters in 2 hours. Yeah. 47 minutes later, the bad guys find the detonators and are back in business. John and Al have a very touching conversation about Al's past, and all the city officials start arguing. The FBI turns off all the lights, and the bad guys figure out the code. A magic vault opens, and it's full of treasures. Then FBI agent Johnson, the other one, calls in for air support so the terrorists can escape. Barefoot John is still walking around the underbelly of the Sakatumi Corporation building. He finds a whole bunch of cheese, but then Goldilocks shows up and they start fighting. Then, the next thing you know, John gets the bad guy, or does he? Argyle takes out a bad guy in the parking garage, and Hans Goober, Holly, John's wife, and Huey Lewis meet up in what looks like a grotto. Ooh, stand up. John surrenders his gun, and Hans Goober says, yippee-ki-yay, chicken plucker, and everyone starts laughing. But John has another gun taped to his back, and he grabs it, and he shoots Goober and Huey Lewis. Happy trails, Hans! But Goober has hold of Holly's watch, and he starts to fall through a window. John has to spring into action action once again and grab Holly and unhook her watch. And Hans falls all slow motion style to the ground. So then it starts snowing down office paper and John stops pretending to be Roy and finally gets to meet Al, who used to be Carl, face to face. There's a staring contest and then they embrace and cry. And all the police start yelling at John like, I got a lot of questions for you, mister. Why they always gotta be hating on the guy that saved the day? And out of nowhere, Goldilocks comes stumbling out of the building with a big gun and everyone froze. Not Carl. He took his gun and nailed Goldilocks before he could even get a shot off. Yay, Carl! Urkel would have been proud. So John punches the reporter, drives off with Holly, Argyle, and the bear, and they all live happily ever after. The end. Oh, yeah, and it was Christmas Eve.